Welcome to Loudmouth Radio with Phil and Dee.
They got together and swore a pact to the devil.
News and commentary not involving the Kardashians or Miley Cyrus.
If I see George Bush, I'll kick his motherfucking ass for cutting my Medicaid.
Political debates.
Crime, I'm conservative. Prostitution, I'm liberal.
Dick jokes.
People have got to know whether or not their president's a crook.
Boobs in your face.
I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it.
Info on how you can be an activist.
I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Are you just going to keep talking?
More boobs in your face.
Oh, my God.
We don't need no education. What we need is a radio station. And now,
Loudmouth Radio.
with no regret.
That's who we are. That's you. Hey, what's going on?
Gee, that intro is already too long.
Dude, I know. It's like so fucking obnoxious.
It really is.
Obnoxious shit I can put together on one thing.
It sounds like the Midwest.
Yes! Beer! Yes!
Yeah, right, totally. How you doing?
Good, how are you? This is Phil from All That Remains, and we are on Loudmouth Radio. Thank you for joining us, who's ever out there in stupid internet radio land.
I would have put up the link, but Dee didn't send it in time.
And this will be our working relationship right here.
Yep. Basically, I'm going to blame you for everything.
So used to it.
Everything from Obamacare all the way down to lack of promotion for the show, and everything's Dee's fault.
I've become the punching bag. I knew it. Lasers.
All right. So last week we just basically talked shit about each other.
Awesome.
And that's what we're going to do today, right?
That's exactly what we have going on today. We're going to cover a few more topics, try to get to know a little more of the flow, what it's going to usually be like when people listen. I know that we had a lot of ideas to get out there off the bat. So
yeah, I still feel like we're in a position where we're going to be, bouncing a lot of ideas around and trying to, set up the not really set up, but trying to figure out exactly where the perspective from each individual stands. And hopefully we get people that call in eventually, and hopefully they mix it up and make us both kind of take a look at our perspectives and look at it look at our own perspective in a different way, I guess.
Right, absolutely. And that's one thing for sure, because I know the haters on your page were cracking me up last week.
Well,
and I'm like,
it's the internet. I mean, come on.
Which I was waiting. I was like salivating. Like, somebody talk shit. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, just people have been scared to call in the past on political shows because they're scared that I don't want to say something wrong. It's not about saying anything wrong. It's not about saying something right. It's about let's get our ideas out there, and that's the whole thing. Let's make each other think, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Totally.
Right.
And I respect that idea so much, I won't even make a joke about it.
Ever. No joking. Ever allowed.
Nope, never.
All right. So should we do news? Let's do news, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
I have another stupid long intro.
Oh, here we go.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Listen up, dickbags. Here's some shit you need to know.
The American people like their bullshit out front, where they can get a good, strong whiff of it.
Loudmouth Radio News.
There are white folks, and then there are ignorant motherfuckers like you.
That's just for you. Just for you, Phil. More
oh,
Obama.
Shit.
All right, I'm sure you've been keeping up to date because the NSA thing has got to be super pissy for all the libertarian folks with the monitoring. And
it should be a goddamn big deal for everybody, genuinely.
Right. Absolutely. The people that say, I refuse to accept, and when they did the Patriot Act, and they did the whole, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. People that
that's the biggest bullshit line I've ever heard in my life.
Watch out for anybody that tells you that. You're racist.
Well, right off the bat, what they're saying is, like, if you're not doing anything wrong, then you don't have anything to worry about. That completely and totally validates the state, watching everything you do, and then, if you don't do anything quote-unquote wrong, then you don't have anything to worry about. But, the fact that the state is watching you in the first place and has the ability to find out if you are doing something quote-unquote wrong, that's a scary, scary scenario. You know, constantly watching, constantly, you know, have someone like, looking over your shoulder. That's creepy.
Well, and it was kind of weird because my sister worked for the George W. Bush campaign both times. And she's very active in the Republican Party and whatever. And that's who I heard it from, was those people on that side where they were like, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have to worry about them going in through all your stuff and doing whatever. And it's like, well, fuck, yes, I do. You're basically allowing them to take you for doing nothing.
Yeah.
So, the NSA stuff really bothers me. And a lot of stuff came out. Man, Snowden released so many things and just kind of unleashed the Kraken. And now with the German, I can't believe we were totally monitoring her phone calls for 10.
You're really surprised? You're fucking surprised at that? Are you serious? You are a naive child.
No.
Let's go ahead and give the government literally carte blanche to essentially unlimited power. Is essentially what we've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government has unlimited power, and you're surprised that we're going to use it? Holy crap! Jesus.
Well,
surprise, because they're so accountable anyways.
And I'm not shocked that we would use it, and I'm not shocked that we spy on allies. I mean, I think it's kind of a well-known thing. Here's where my shock comes in. Her cell phone, right, which is supposed to, she's a leader of a country, might have some sensitive information on there, and we were able to get through it, no frickin' problem. And so then I started thinking about, well, who the fuck else can do it? You don't think Anonymous can get into that, to hack into her cell phone? Or maybe
Anonymous is like child's play.
Right.
Don't be concerned with Anonymous. Be concerned with China.
Right.
Like, serious. Come on, let's get the grown-ups at the table here.
Yeah.
Anonymous, when they attack someone, if it's not a person, like an individual where they can go ahead and get their bank account information, Anonymous really doesn't have a whole lot of power. France is one of the biggest spy agencies that attack the U.S. every day, and it's true. Whether people they don't acknowledge it because cybersecurity and stuff like that. Like a cyber attack is technically an act of war. So we don't talk about how often China or France or Britain, our allies or quote unquote enemies, how often they're probing our abilities, like when it comes to cybersecurity. So just like this whole charade with Merkel, like it's a big deal and like it's so surprising. It's all political theater. It happens all the time, and that's just the world we live in because we've given the U.S. government enough authority to do that.
And that's the whole thing. Like, if you don't think this group of hackers can get into that phone, they can, and they can do it easily. And then so what do you think China's doing? What do you think France is doing? It's 3 billion times as bad as you think it is. I guarantee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
go ahead.
For the listeners out there, I'm married, and my wife has a job working in cybersecurity for, long story short, it's a cybersecurity job with the federal government. And the stuff that she has seen and told me that is not, classified stuff, she went to a convention, her phone was off. Within 20 minutes, some dude that she didn't know was showing her pictures that were on her phone that he managed to turn.
Jesus. That's fucked up. Oh, no. I think we lost Phil. See if we can get him back here. This will be me stumbling, waiting for Phil's Skype to come back. Hi, everybody. Glad we could have this quality time together. I could play sound effects, too. I like sound effects, in case you didn't know. Here, let's bond. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. I want to feel what love is. I know you can show me. No idea why I have Random Foreigner in there, to be honest with you. In my sound bank. Phil, he's probably talking to his phone and nothing's happening right now. Hi, Phil, I hear you.
Hi. So we're still working out the bugs on this whole doing the Skype thing. Someone was calling me, and apparently the phone call will take precedence over Skype.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, good to know.
I played Foreigner while you were gone.
Foreigner, huh? Good call. I like Foreigner. So, anyways, where were we?
Your wife, dude, showing her the pictures on her own phone from his phone.
Yeah. So he basically, turned her phone on wirelessly, took pictures out of her phone, and showed her. She's like, "Hey, are these yours?" And she's like, "Wow, that's creepy. I thought that it was off." So, and like the system, like the ability of people to infiltrate systems nowadays.
Right.
Just what you can do, from your phone or from your home, a laptop is, ridiculous. So to think that the federal government isn't digging through your stuff is ridiculous.
Right. Absolutely. I know. I love the hashtag. Hi, NSA.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorites. All right. So anyway, of course, Obama just apologized and said that he didn't even know about it because I guess.
You know what? He's not sorry.
Doesn't give a shit.
No, not at all.
All right. What else do we got? Oh, we can look forward to Health and Human Service Secretary, poor Kathleen's having the worst fucking 2 weeks ever.
Oh, God. Poor Kathleen Sebelius. How difficult is her job? I have to go ahead and defend something that is indefensible, and I have to figure out a way to make it work.
I think you are forgetting how good we are at eliminating accountability on our own selves. Like
we're pretty good at that.
I'm pretty sure she could just be like, I delegated that shit out. Fuck that guy. Fire that guy.
Like seriously, why the fuck did we put like the whole goddamn Obamacare thing? Seriously, why is it okay? Like I get that, like, quote unquote your side wants to have, everyone have access to health insurance. Fine. But like, is it not a complete debacle the way that it's being implemented? Is it not a complete mess at all? Like, do you see that?
I get what you're saying. And I'm disappointed too, but it's kind of predictable, to be honest.
Oh shit! It's not just predictable, okay? It is totally validating every single argument that was made against this particular law.
But here's the whole thing. Like, when you look at states that set up their own exchanges, those are the ones that are working better than the ones who didn't. A lot of the reasons and a lot of the faults with Obamacare, which is not a perfect law, is because of the resistance that was put up. That's why we have the individual mandate and all that shit, because the insurance companies didn't want to lose money, blah, 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 blah. A lot of that stuff was the GOP, that was their demands, and that was how it was supposed to be negotiated. Not saying it wasn't fucked up before.
There was no fucking negotiation. The law was crammed through against the general will of the populace with a supermajority of like your team, like supermajority, like we're in charge, we're gonna shove it down your throat. And there was the House, fired a ton of people in the House and sent them home because of it. And now it's a bad law being implemented like if it was like hands tied behind the back and just like stumbling over everything. I mean, it's the clumsiest thing that I've seen in ages. And
when they did the
people don't want it.
When they redid, I see now I disagree, because I think I'm one of those people that says a vote for Obama was a vote for Obamacare. We all knew it, and if you voted for him thinking you weren't going to get Obamacare,
no, a vote for Obama was a vote for I'm not racist. That's what a vote for Obama was.
Oh, you got to make it about race.
No, look, dude, he had no platform. Hope and change is the most ridiculous, it was a pie in the sky idea. It's like, let me vote for not George Bush, and then let me vote for not George Bush again because he's got a nice smile.
And we just got the Diet Coke of George Bush. That's all we got.
No, not even the Diet Coke. I mean, this is full flavor George Bush. Like none of the policies have changed. What is a significant different policy in the Obama administration that was not already a policy in the Bush administration? What change have we done?
Well, I'm going to say what significant change he's done is Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That was huge, repealing that. And he should have done it the fucking first day he was in office. That's what I was pissed about. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, all you people think we suck Obama's dick because he was the liberal Jesus. Fuck you. First of all, Jesus was way cooler than any of you motherfuckers could ever hope to be. Secondly,
as far as I can tell you, all right.
He fucks shit up, dude. He should have fucked that right away. I'm pissed about it.
Yeah, you're totally right. There shouldn't have been Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It shouldn't be sexual orientation shouldn't be involved in any kind of matter at all. Like at all. Like that doesn't matter. Like who you bang, like seriously, that doesn't matter. Like who you want to have sex with, who you spend time with, that's not in any way the government's business. Should not be in any way involved in any kind of policy. And if you actually bring up sexual orientation in policy, you're either stupid or you're gay and someone else has been stupid to you.
Right. It's that easy, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's like if you care about like, you know, stuff like Don't Ask, Don't Tell, it's like the only people that really are concerned about that are people that have actually been affected by it. And there shouldn't be anybody that's ever been affected by it ever in all of history.
Right. Absolutely. And that's, I know, and see, and you guys are pretty quick to dismiss anything that Obama does that's actually semi-productive. It seems like, you know, and I get it, and I do the same thing, and it's because he's just not liberal enough for me, that's all. So we can share that.
The thing is, like, it's not that he's not liberal enough. It's that he's too statist. There's a difference.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, this is the problem. This is why I'll say I'll never be a Democrat ever, is because they seriously lack balls. They have no fucking spine.
You know, okay, I don't know. Fucking, you know, Democrats are pretty good at waging wars. So
I think we can slice that pie, Phil.
Well, I tell you what. Let's see. We had fucking LBJ that fucking ramped up the Vietnam War, and that was 58,000 dead. You had fucking Roosevelt that was, you know, was very interested in getting us into fucking World War II. You had Wilson that was very interested in getting us into World War I. These are all Democrats.
Right.
The vast majority of the wars that have been perpetrated in the past 100 years were either done under Democrat administrations or were under authoritarian administrations of other countries, like fucking, you know, the World War II. If it wasn't for World War I, there wouldn't have been a World War II, so thank you, Wilson. If it wasn't for fucking Vietnam, we wouldn't have had fucking 58,000 dead people. Thank you, Johnson, and your great society. It's almost exclusive. Like, war has only become the domain of the Republicans in the past 20 or 30 years.
So what you're saying is they took away the Democrats' balls, and then we quit going to war, but then we also quit fighting for our own people. Because
Democrats suck, man. Democrats suck.
We got neutered, and now we don't do shit. Awesome. All right.
There you go. Except for steal from producers.
Oh, good. Okay, so the more Kathleen's getting grilled more today, and they're promising to fix the Obamacare website. Promises all over the fucking place. Look at it.
It's funny to watch. Like I watch that show Morning Joe and that chick Mika Brzezinski. Man, you can't find a bigger cheerleader, and even she is like, ugh. This rollout is just a mess.
It is a mess. But I will say, it's a fucking huge rollout. And this is a bigger rollout than, you know, the standard, my company has a new website we're launching. I mean, let's kind of take on the whole idea of how big this fucking really is, okay? A little bit of slack given. I'm still like, you can call the fucking number and get
through. That.
But
little bit of slack given my ass. I'm going to go ahead and write a law that forces you to purchase something, and I'm going to do it in a shitty way, and if you don't, I'm going to put you in jail.
Oh, whatever.
That's exactly what will happen.
You have to pay a 1% of your income fucking penalty at the end of the year. It's like $90.
No, it's not like $90. If it was only $90, I would be like, whatever. Most people that are young, that are the important people to be involved in it, the people that aren't going to get sick, they're not going to buy health insurance. So it's a dumb idea in the first place. It's just as bad as Social Security has become, because it's still relying on young people to put in to take care of old people.
Well, and
that's exactly what it is.
Right, and I understand, I get it, and I don't know if it's like, okay, we're at that point where we were too fucked with the insurance companies, and we knew we were fucked if we keep it the way we do, so we might as well try something new now. I don't know.
You know what we should have, and so much of my perspective, I'm going to be talking about, dudes that did shit a long time ago, like during World War II, right? When Roosevelt put freezes on wages and stuff, and you could, he first started, the progressive era and ideas, right?
Right.
He tells people, okay, you can't pay anymore. So how do people attract people to the best and brightest to work for their companies? You can't give them any more money, so you give them a nice health package. So that means they don't look at how much it costs for something. They don't look at how much it costs to mend a broken arm or whatever. And then, so it stops being a market. So people will talk about, specifically Democrats love to talk about, oh, well, the health insurance system is broken and blah, 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 blah. So we have to get the government more involved. Well, the government's what broke it in the first fucking place. From the outset of the government sticking their nose into private industry, that's when it got broken. So it got broken in the 30s and 40s. It didn't get broken in the past 10, 20 years. No one knows what it costs. And if no one knows what something costs, then there's no market for it. If there's no market for it, there's no competition. If there's no competition, it's definitely not the free market taking care of anything.
Yeah, the free market thing, I mean, that would be a whole fucking episode in and of itself, I have a feeling. And I understand what you're saying, but are we to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, government broke it got fucked up, but we got to make it better now. We can't just toss everybody to fucking wolves.
Yeah, so let's put more government in. That's a great idea. Government screwed it in the first place. So let's see if we just add, when you put too much salt on your meal, right? You don't make it taste better by adding more salt.
Well, I don't know, dude. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know. I know it's law, and I didn't like how it was presented. I didn't like how it went through. I didn't like where we were at. I wanted single payer.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Let's go ahead and just raise everyone's taxes even more, and then go ahead and make the government you can walk in and the government will pay for everything.
Hey, fuck that. We can tax churches and we can get our corporate taxes under control here and take care of a lot of shit. I mean,
okay, hold on a second. What did you just say about corporate taxes? What are you talking about? Are you talking about capital gains tax?
There's so much corporate welfare that come on. When GE doesn't pay fucking an ounce or a dollar in taxes, it's insane. When Verizon doesn't pay anything in taxes and they have huge fucking profits, why aren't we getting anything from these companies? Before we talk about welfare.
Hold on. When's the last time you fucking got in a plane?
God, I don't know.
Because I tell you what, I get some shit from GE every time I get on a plane. I'm paying for the engines that they built that take me all over the fucking place.
Good.
And you know what? I pay for that, and it's worth the money. There is an exchange there. They don't owe any more than they've already given. And if the U.S. tax law is screwed up, then it's U.S. tax law. It's not the corporations.
Okay.
You and I are going to fight about this corporations thing because you think there's this. You think like people with money and corporations and businesses are the bad guy, and you're totally focusing your fucking attention on the wrong thing. The government is the bad guy.
Listen, they're opportunists. They are opportunists, and they will always take an opportunity. And for you to think they would do anything other than that I think is crazy. And that's
no, I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm not saying that they would do anything other than take. I mean, any company, any business is going to take advantage of any kind of opportunities they can. A smart businessman is going to do that. But the point that I'm making is instead of trying to fight that and trying to use government to force them to do something, how about you go ahead and force government to stay out of the business of selling favors and stay out of the business of allowing people with money to influence legislation. Mm-hmm. The important part is legislation. Companies with big fucking dollars. That's always going to be a thing. There's always going to be a small percentage of the population that has the money. And so the only way to control them is to limit the power that they have via government, because otherwise they're just running commercials and turn them off, just turn the commercials off, because companies don't have the ability to force you. Government does.
Well, and no, I don't blame the corporations for not paying taxes. I think our tax code fucking sucks. And so, like, that's where I'm at. Like, let's take care of this shit. We can't hold them responsible for doing what they – I mean, that's the whole part. A corporation exists to make money. So they're going to try to get out of taxes if they can. So we got to take care of that. I totally agree with that. All right. So anyway.
Back to Sebelius, I think.
What's that?
Back to Sebelius, I think.
Oh, yeah. Website. Oh, yeah. And I said I gave them a little bit of slack, and then it was when you found out only 10% were getting through, it was like, oh, holy shit. And then they started hawking the number out, like, oh, just call the hotline, and they'll take care of you. And I don't know if you've called the hotline or not, Phil.
Have you called?
Check it out.
Good morning. Welcome to Obamacare Healthcare 800 phone line because the website doesn't work. How may I help you?
Hi, yes, I would like...
Let me guess. You want to sign up for medical coverage?
Yes.
Right. So does everyone else. For a list of available plans, please press 1 now. Yes, thanks for pushing 1. Plan A is a 50% deductible with a 20% copay if you're a network, and it's a 40% deductible with a 30% copay out of network, and you pay everything if you're on the Bravo television network. Press 2 if you have a pre-existing condition. Yes, thanks for pushing 2. What is your pre-existing condition?
I have 6 months to live.
I'm sorry. 6 months and 1 day is the length of time it'll take to sign up.
Obamacare lets you get coverage no matter what your issue is.
Well, let me check the website. Okay, I'm in.
Wait, you're on the website?
Special sign-in code for us to run around for you. Oh, yes, here.
For you.
You're right.
Oh, thank God.
Unfortunately, you've gone over your allotted time. Thank you for calling Obama. We don't really care. Have a nice day.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean that's basically the size of it. Come back. It sums it up.
Yeah, it really does. And you know it sucks because my mom, she wasn't able to get health insurance. She had her shoulder replaced, both hips, whatever. She's old, it's fucking old people. This is what happens. Yeah. And she's finally able to get insurance, and it's been such a runaround for her and such a pain in the ass. And I've seen how broken the system is when you don't have insurance, and then to see how broken it is when you do have insurance and you pay out of the fucking. I pay so much money for insurance that I get screwed on it. But I have a kid. You got to have insurance for your kid, right? So it's.
I don't know. I don't have a kid.
Well, you have to have it.
And you know what? I did that on purpose.
Oh, yes, of course. Rub it in your free time. But, so I really wanted this. I really did. I really wanted us to have good health care. But it was doomed to fail.
Well, I mean, it was. And I mean, like, even though you don't want to say you're a Democrat, you're still a Democrat. So, like, Democrats always want, like they want the government to do stuff and they want it to work, but it's almost like pie in the sky. It's like, if we just pass this law, then it'll all be good and happy, and the seas will calm and Obama will walk on water, and it's like the government can do it all. And it just doesn't work that way.
Joe Biden turns into a pumpkin.
Joe Biden, man, that guy's hilarious. I like Joe Biden. I fucking love Joe Biden. He's hilarious. Oh man, I love Joe Biden. But I mean that's the thing. Nobody that was for the Affordable Care Act, wanted to hurt people. Nobody intended on screwing the country.
Right.
But they just did.
Well, and you know what? And it's not like it can't change. It's not like it can't. It's not like it can't get better. We could have had a better template to start with, fucking A. But we got to do it. We got to.
Well, but a better template is subjective. I mean, what are you talking like? Would a better template have been a single payer system? Is that what you're talking about? Because to you that's better. To me that's worse.
I just think overall, with all the fucking problems we've had with everything with the healthcare, and not to mention, I don't like ramming bills through. I hate that shit. They did that fucking here in Wisconsin, and I can't stand it. I think it's irresponsible government, and I hated how it was done. It was delivered onto the floor, and how many pages was it? Like 1,400 pages, and they had like 2 hours or something stupid. I'm totally pulling out those numbers.
Listen, the best thing I can think about this whole situation was the way that Nancy Pelosi described TARP. We have to pass the bill so that way we can see what's in it. That's the way Washington works now. That's the way that the federal government works. They don't think about consequences, really. They really don't think about, whether or not a bill is actually necessary. They've stripped away the ability of states to, experiment amongst themselves and figure out if
that sounds naughty.
What?
That sounds naughty.
I know, right? It does sound naughty. Or whether it be sticking their nose into like a constitutional amendment about what marriage is. Come on,
right.
Like, do we need the federal government to be involved in that? Do we need the federal government to be involved in our health care? Do we need the federal government to have the ability to go ahead and listen to anything that we say on our fucking phones? Do we need the federal government to, is that how we want our government? Is that what we want our government to do? Like, are these the things? It's because it turns into a basic, fundamental question about what do we want the government to do? Exactly. What is the role of government? Mm-hmm. And Democrats love to say, well, government's supposed to make people's lives better. And I personally think anytime government tries to make people's lives better, they make other people's lives worse. And so they shouldn't be in the business of messing with people's lives at all.
Right. I understand that philosophy too, but I think so much of it has to do with the fucking people that are in there running it. And if we had the reason why the sessions are the way they are, it wasn't supposed to be designed. And I know that whatever, the founding fathers weren't just your average Joes either, but it was the representatives were supposed to be able to go in and represent the people and go back, take care of their farm, come back, represent the people, blah 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 blah. And now we have professional politicians in there, and you can't fucking get elected if you don't look good on TV. Never mind what the fuck you say, and you're not gonna get funding if you're not extreme enough. John Huntsman would have been a fucking fantastic candidate for the Republican Party. But I
love when you sound Midwestern. Fantastic. Go ahead.
I can't get rid of it. It's worse when I drink too.
Fantastic. Go ahead, John Huntsman.
Oh, don't you know now? We could have ran him, and that would have just been so great. But I think if we get that private money out of politics and we stop, people shouldn't be professional politicians. It shouldn't be you're groomed from the age of 8 in this family to grow up, and you're going to be a senator, and then you're going to run for president.
Yeah. I'm hearing this fucking diatribe from you right now, and I guarantee in 2016 you're going to vote for fucking Hillary Clinton.
Oh, my God. I ain't voting for her. I already told everybody I ain't voting for her.
Well,
nope.
Oh, really? Who are you going to... You wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton?
No fucking way. I wouldn't vote for a Clinton. If you made me vote for a Clinton, there's no fucking... I would die before I would do it.
I like to hear that. I like that.
I never got that. I don't understand why people on the left were... I mean... Granted, the comedy they provided us was fantastic, and she did do a pretty good job as Secretary of State. She did a good job on there. That's fine.
Yeah, Benghazi was sweet too. Jesus Christ, you fucking serious?
Shining moment. Yeah, well, in Benghazi, come on, that got politicized, and you can't say it didn't. There's been how many other attacks on how many other consulates throughout how many other presidencies?
Absolutely. And, I don't know if you are aware of my perspective or not, but, we should keep our nose out of everyone else's business so that way they don't want to kill us.
Yeah. How about stop fucking attacking people, and then we won't breed more terrorists and have them come and attack us? It doesn't seem that fucking hard.
Yeah, we can stop shooting missiles at kids. We can't even, and that's another hilarious thing. We can't even not shoot missiles at American citizens. Never mind not shoot missiles at foreign nationalists or whatever.
I know. And I don't expect everything to be perfect. I get there's going to be fuck-ups. Within the grand scheme of things, we got a pretty big operation we're running here, And you're not going to nail it every time.
Unless you're aiming at it with a drone from Nevada and the drone's over Pakistan. Then you're going to, blow some people up, and you'll at least get your target.
Hold on, I have a song for us.
Oh, do it?
I do. I just gotta find it. Yeah, I'm so anti-drone. It's pretty ridiculous. Here.
Give to America! Give to America! Wait, what's that noise? Incoming!
Again, circling way up high above my home again.
Painful hemorrhoids to America! Painful hemorrhoids to America! Just kidding. Death to America. No!
I'll start thinking twice when I'm with my Al-Qaeda friends. Run for your lives, 'cause there's a drone again.
This job really...
Cheesy, I love it, though.
It is. It's definitely cheesy. It's cute, though.
Yeah, I feel like the Benghazi thing... First of all, having an openly gay consulate over there didn't fucking help the situation at all.
What?
Think, yeah. Seriously, you're putting him in...
This is completely total news to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. Give me the information. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Well, he was openly gay. Chris was openly gay, and then when he did all his work over there, and he was out with the people a lot, and it got around whatever. And that's what they think, that when they came in and they stormed or whatever, and they might have been there to pick up weapons, depending on what conspiracy person you're talking about. But that's where they think that maybe Al-Qaeda got their motivation, was because of an openly gay ambassador.
That's ridiculous.
So
that's completely ridiculous.
I know. Dude, it's all over there, but I don't. Here's the whole thing. Why
are you telling me that you think that the reason they attacked the consulate was because he was gay?
No. I'm just saying, let's not put an openly gay person in an Islam country and not have the security for them at all. That's what I'm saying.
Well, all right. To be honest with you, I think the sexual orientation is kind of irrelevant because, he's an American and he was a white guy. And the Arabs, yeah, he had like 2 strikes against him as it was. And the whole, America's in your country, he's like in your base, stealing all your stuff,
right.
And the fact that it wasn't an embassy, it was a consulate, which honestly, what that is, it's a CIA site.
And
that's what it was, and they were probably snatching up dudes and taking them to the consulate, and maybe waterboarding them or beating the crap out of them or whatever they were doing, and that's a whole lot more, in my opinion, that's a whole lot more believable than they didn't like him because he was a fag.
Yeah. Like the whole thing, the Benghazi weapons or whatever, there was theories that they were running the weapons to Syria through there, and that was the pickup. Was at that consulate, was where they were going to exchange these weapons.
Well, they should have just sold them on the open market to Syria.
Do you want to plug your gun shop quick?
Yeah, you can check out Highlander Arms, Facebook.com/Highlander Arms. Buy your guns from us. Well, if you got an FFL local, we can sell you guns. You can come buy ammo and all that stuff. It's at Route 63 in Spofford. Check it out.
Talk about guns, and you get to plug your gun store. It fucking works out awesome.
Spofford, New Hampshire. Yeah, definitely.
All right, speaking of Syria, here we go. The inspectors have yet to reach 2 Syria weapon sites, but... Right, yeah. They say they're coming up with their weapons destruction plan right now. So there's some international watchdog looking over Syria. They have a plan to eliminate their stockpile by mid-2014.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Because,
Super worried.
I was scared. I was nervous. Or wait a minute. No, maybe I wasn't because I don't care what's going on in Syria. It's like, what, you're like, they use chemical weapons. Oh, okay. Because that is worse than the, conventional weapons that they continue to use against each other. Let them have their war. Let them have their fucking war. Keep your fucking nose out of it. Don't fucking shoot missiles at them. Don't pick a side because, there is no good guy over there.
Nope.
Like in Syria, there is nobody that you can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I back this dude's perspective, so let's help him out. There is no good guy. So just let them fucking kill each other.
Agreed. 100% agreed. A common enemy doesn't make us allies. And you would not believe the shit I got on air, Phil. Because on air I said, on my other job where I make dick jokes, I was talking about how...
Your other dick joke job?
Yeah, totally. Apparently all I can fucking do. I said, what's the big fucking deal? Why is this a red line to use chemical weapons when we're totally okay with them taking a fucking gun out and shooting as many protesters as they want? What's the fucking difference?
There is no difference.
You know?
I mean, like they talk about chemical weapons as if, like, you know, it's some game changer. You're shooting artillery shells into a city. Like, that stuff is going on. They're shooting artillery shells into a populated area. And so, for some reason, like, the fact that there's, I think it was like 1,500 people died of chemical weapons attacks, it's like 100 times more, like 100,000 people have died in that war. 100 times more people have died from conventional weapons, and that's fine. But the 1,500 people that died from chemical weapons, that's a red line. I mean, this is almost, it's laughable. It's more political theater. It's just bullshit fucking, you know, get people worked up. Because, oh, my children, they're killing children with chemical weapons. Doesn't that sound terrible? But, you know, artillery killing children, that's fine.
Totally acceptable. And none of these motherfuckers that were pissed about the chemical weapons said a word when there was that massive slaughter in Syria. Was it? It was like a year ago. Fuck, I'm spacing on the name of it. But I mean, they were taking machetes to kids' heads, and there were pictures all over fucking Twitter about it, and nobody cared.
I, to be honest with you, I didn't even know that happened. Like, I mean, people get slaughtered all over the world all of the time. If we bombed every country that slaughtered a bunch of people, we would literally run out of fucking bombs. And we have a shit fucking ton of bombs. Like, we have a fuckload of bombs.
I agree. All right, so Sandy, now that Hurricane Sandy anniversary coming up on us here, and everybody's kind of reevaluating everything, including the funding and stuff. Now, where are you on FEMA?
Tear it apart and throw it away.
So then, if that was the case, what would have happened for Sandy?
I have no idea.
So you're just like, get the fuck rid of it. I don't care what happens.
Well, to be honest, I don't need the federal government shouldn't be involved in managing emergencies and stuff, because when you give the federal government the authority to manage emergencies and stuff like that, you end up with, you know, Chris Christie doing everything that he can to suck on the government tit and you know, just extort money out of the federal government. All these things will be like all the things that, you know, rebuilding from a disaster, whether it be Katrina or Sandy or whatever, all those things can be done on a much more local level. And so the federal government sticks its nose in and says, okay, we're going to give you money. And so that means that, you know, we're going to expect something in return. And it ends up being it ends up being another problem with bureaucracy and, you know, the government being in control of, you know, doling out the funds and stuff like that. And then it's, you know, the government's picking the companies that are going to get the special treatment and the favors and stuff. So I just think that the less federal government you have, the better the outcome tends to be.
I love the idea of letting the local people pick the contractors and figuring all that stuff out and doing all that. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like to not think that there's going to be a big enough emergency where a community is going to need some help from the federal government, I just think it's unrealistic. And I know, and maybe we'll get there someday. I understand your vision. I get it. But
I mean, when's the last time there was a quote-unquote disaster that the federal government hasn't stuck its nose into?
Yeah, I don't know. God, I'd have to check that out.
You know, I mean, like, what's the results of letting, you know, the federal government staying out of it? Because, I mean, everyone can sit there and say, oh, well, the federal government is going to do this and the federal government's going to do that, and, you know, you got to support or put money into these programs, et cetera, et cetera. But, like, what's the alternative? Like,
right. What happens if we don't do it?
Yeah. There's and to be honest with you, I really think that it's like, hey, you know, there was a lot of time before America was a thing, and like things worked themselves out. There was a lot of time before the federal government stuck its nose into everything, and things kind of worked themselves out. You know, so I really don't think that the federal government is nearly as important as it thinks and as a lot of, Americans think. I think that if you just let people will take care of people. Like, genuinely, people most people at the very heart will say terrible things on the internet given the opportunity. But most people are good people.
Right.
Right.
Inherently, I agree. If they see somebody that needs help, if they're not looking at their smartphone at the time, most people will help the person that needs help. I get it.
Unless you're in New York City.
Yes, I am from Wisconsin, and we'll pretty much help anybody, and we'll give you a knife. I think that this is bringing up some interesting stuff, though, as far as the infrastructure of our country goes, because we are not doing so hot, bridges and all that stuff. American Society of Civil Engineers most recently gave the nation a D+ for overall infrastructure. D+. Nobody wants to spend. That's the problem. And that all goes back to now they're figuring out with Hurricane Sandy, no one wants to invest in anything to help with the rebuild, to help with any of it, because everybody's scared of taxes. No taxes. So, yeah.
How much do you think you pay in taxes?
I pay more than Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney don't pay no tax.
First of all, no, you don't pay more than Mitt Romney. Second of all, percentage. Okay, percentage. All right, yeah. And this, this comes back to what I was kind of trying to bait you into before. You're talking about capital gains taxes. Mm-hmm. People love to go ahead and complain about how the percentage that Mitt Romney pays is so small, and people love to complain about that and shit. They forget about the fact that that's the same percentage that your grandma's paying on her 401k. That's how she survives. So when people say, "Oh, you need to raise, the capital gains tax needs to be higher," go ahead and do that. Screw your mom.
Hey, why with my mother is none of your fucking business.
You're screwing your grandparents out of money because you want everyone to get along. Nice, idiot.
Yeah, whatever. My grandma don't need no money. What? Our tax system needs to be rewritten. It needs to be gone over. It's got more words than the fucking Bible does. What are we doing here?
It's ridiculous. And to be honest with you, I'm sure that you think that rich people need to pay more and poor people need to pay less. But the fact of the matter is, the rich people already pay the vast majority of taxes, and poor people don't pay anything.
Oh, whatever. And I don't have a. Oh, you're not religious. I don't have to worry about this. Okay. No. If we fucking tax churches and places of worship, whatever, it's like $700 billion over the course of like 10 years or something stupid like that. $70 billion over 10 years or something.
Wow. That's fucking a fucking drop in the bucket.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. But it's a drop in the bucket. But you know what? That's money that the poorer people can't pay into, and that's more money we're getting to help with all the shit that we can't fucking fund. And you know what? If you have one of the mega churches and you're pulling in all this money, what the fuck? Why do you get free property taxes? That ain't fair. That ain't fair. Stick and Harry.
That's fine with me. I mean, I don't have a problem. I mean, my general perspective is like tax less. Everybody should pay less taxes. So I'm not really a person that's going to go ahead and endorse adding taxes to anyone, but it should be fair, and sure, if there's mega churches that get donations and et cetera, tax them, I don't care.
Hold on, I'm trying to find that number so I have the exact figures so some internet hater isn't all over there. Oh, there it is.
Oh, don't worry, the internet haters are going to be all over it anyways.
$71 billion a year, that's what it says here, a year, holy shit.
71 million or billion?
Billion with a B.
With a B. B like Bravo. Well, then, okay. I don't care. It's not something that's close to my heart. It's like, I don't sweat it because, to be honest with you, there's the amount of money that the government takes in and the amount of money that the government is in debt is so much that, like, little things like that, I think I think we can both agree that Social Security and Medicare and unfunded liabilities are the serious, economic problems for the future of the United States. Getting a little bit here and a little bit there, sure, it's fine. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to I guess not. But but I'm against taxes anyways. I don't even think there should be an income tax. I think that's a load of shit. So, I mean,
income tax didn't start until what was it, 1913, and people paid the taxes through the goods and stuff that they bought or whatever. So
yeah, it was Wilson that started the income tax. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Woodrow Wilson. God damn it, that guy. If that guy was never president, the world would be a fucking better place, man.
Dude, he's your Reagan.
What?
He's your Reagan, dude.
Dude, he's the worst. Like, seriously, the list of the worst presidents, it's like fucking Abraham Lincoln and then like the first 3 presidents at the turn of the last century. Like, Wilson was terrible. The Roosevelts were both assholes. So, that's the worst presidents in history. They almost came out of the same era, except for Lincoln, because he sucked too.
Why do you hate Lincoln?
Maybe the war that he carried out against his own people.
Mm-hmm. All in the name of keeping the United States together. So, I was thinking about...
All in the name of not allowing states to secede from the Union. There's a difference.
Okay. Because I was thinking about this, because we started this conversation a little bit last week. As far as going to war to save somebody else's freedom. So let's say, whatever, Mississippi declares that there is slavery again in this libertarian utopia you're in, right? And so they're all, and I'm like, I still say I'm going to invade and help save as many people as I can. I'm going to do that, and I don't know why, and I understand you're all like, well, we should stay out of it. That's their thing, but there's that part of me that's like, we have to help those people.
Sure. You help them get out of Mississippi. You don't help by invading Mississippi. You help them get out. You stand on the border of Mississippi and say, fucking get the fuck over here, dude. That guy sucks.
Right, but then you know what I'm saying, though. Then they start, knocking people up, trying to get slaves out and free them, and it's just... Slavery was going away whether fucking Lincoln invaded the South or not. It was on its way out the door. You're right.
It was. I mean, there was already, the Underground Railroad existed, and slaves were getting brought out. There were abolitionists in the North that were welcoming, slaves into the North and helping them out. It was a bad idea that was, on its way out anyways.
Yeah.
The Civil War was about keeping the Union together, and that violated the rights of the states, because when you join, when the Union was formed, right, all the states agreed to join the Union, and the states were supposed to retain their sovereign powers. So if they didn't want to be in the Union anymore, they could leave. That was the way that was the agreement when they joined the Union. So Lincoln totally took that agreement, ripped it up, and said, "Fuck that! I'm in charge. You're staying." And that's wrong.
And I'm a $5 bill, bitch. What?
Yeah, and now he gets fucking monuments to him. Made. He's on fucking mountains and monuments in Washington, and kids are fucking lied to every day about this guy. About he was so good. He's a great president. No.
This is what we've learned. You shit all over the Constitution, and you get a fucking monument.
Yeah, essentially. Isn't it great?
We're doing it wrong. We're doing it wrong.
Shit on the Constitution, and people are gonna fucking dig it. I mean, look at what Obama's done. Look at what George W. Bush did. I mean, it's just fucking fuck the Constitution, fuck the Bill of Rights. Those things, even though they're actually laws. I mean, you listen to fucking this, President Obama is a scummy dude. Okay, he says things like, "We will come up with language that makes it legal." Really? You're gonna make some shit up to make it legal? You're gonna figure out a way using your lawyer speak?
Exactly.
That's exactly that's what he is. He's gonna figure out a way to phrase a sentence that he's going to put into a law to make it okay for him to do something that actually, if most people read the Constitution or whatever, most people will say, you can't do that because the Constitution says you can't. And you're going to figure out a way to circumvent that, is what he's saying. He's a fucking scumbag.
Well,
like,
he's fucking
slimy,
liberal. Like,
slimy fucking politician, lawyer, slime.
Yeah, you want to play with the pigs, you're going to get dirty, right? Yeah, he's definitely dirty.
Yeah.
Dude,
fucking Ron Paul, man. Ron Paul. I wish my boy would come back. And I tell you what, I'm going to fucking watch his kid, and I'm going to back him probably, too.
Oh, dude, he's just as much of a douche as Obama is. Come on.
I don't know about as much. I mean, he's a politician, but Obama sucks.
Well, they all suck, and it's hard for liberals to watch it all go down because we're taking the blame for most of it when it's not even the way a liberal would fucking do it. So there, I don't know.
I'm terrified of the way a quote unquote liberal would do it.
Dude, just relax. It'll be over before you know it.
Just hold on, sit back, relax. Don't mind that cool liquid.
Dude, this might be a little gooey. I had somebody say that to me one time, and that's not okay. It was a doctor.
This might be a little gooey.
Little gooey sounds like a horrible nickname, too.
Yeah, it does. It does sound bad.
Okay, so anyway, Sandy stuff going on. So look forward to all those people going on there talking about how everything is fucked up, from the food that they're supposed to be getting, which, by the way, back to Anonymous, those Occupy motherfuckers that went out there for Occupy Wall Street, then they ended up helping out with the Hurricane Sandy stuff. They organized so many of those the checkpoints to go to get your food, do whatever. The Occupy kids rocked out there, and I shouldn't say kids because they're like older, but
did they really?
They kicked ass, totally. Oh, my God. I followed one of them. She's from Wisconsin. She went out there or whatever. And the stuff they set up, I mean, it was just like, it would be like going through a church, essentially. You know, how the Salvation Army does it or whatever.
Yeah, that's sweet. You know, I am totally into people that, get into helping people,
I feel like there's a big resurgence of that, too. And I think the younger 20-somethings are onto it, so that's good.
I think the Occupy people should stick to doing charities and stop, running their face in Zuccotti Park or whatever, because they just sounded real stupid. But if you're actually doing something to help people, I mean, you can't down that, you can't knock that.
Right, absolutely. Well, and the thing is, you can say what you want to say about the Occupy people. But they ended up bringing that discussion right to the fucking forefront, dude, and they ended up getting people to talk about wealth inequality and all that, which is something that I think has been ignored for a while, so.
I think it's a complete waste of time. They have everything fucking backwards. Everything they think is just wrong, and,
I like the data you're bringing here, Phil.
Yeah, real solid data points here, concrete data points. Well, because you're asking the government to pass laws to limit the effect of the government.
Right.
You're asking mom and dad to limit what mom and dad can do. Right. And you know what? They're not fucking mom and dad. Like you watch Peter Schiff. There's this he did this thing that Reason TV put up.
Okay.
On YouTube. You can find it. Just Google Reason TV. Or if you go to YouTube and search Reason TV and Peter Schiff, you can find it. And and he goes down there and he tells them all what the whole deal is. And there's so many people that are just yelling at him and just so uninformed or misinformed. And then of course there are crazies. There's a bunch of crazies that were jumping on that bandwagon. They're like, oh boy, there's a bunch of people. Let's go ahead and yell about the dragons in my pants or whatever. Like nutbags.
Yes.
And but he he lays it out well, and it's not about the corporations aren't bad. The legislation is bad. Let the corporations do whatever the fuck they want, because if you can't force them and if you can't force people, if you don't have government enforcement, it doesn't matter, because then all you're doing is watching their commercials. Stop letting them affect legislation, and it won't matter.
And that's where I'm at, too. And that's why I couldn't believe how you felt about Citizens United. But I suppose when you go back to letting corporations do it and just change the legislation, I like them from both ends, if you know what I'm saying, what?
Like finger cuffs.
Yes! I was doing the finger cuffs motion, too. That's unbelievable.
Nice.
All right. Well, great show, man. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I love
fun.
it. Cool.
Fun. I love you long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this will be a weekly thing, and it'll be fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Bye. See ya. Thanks, guys. Bye.